Well, I think this goes down in history as one of the most interesting introductions to a show.
Okay.
And it's totally fitting because Troy Sage is one of the most interesting real estate agents that I know in this area. And we have over 5,000 real estate agents in this local community. And I remember when I first came across his signs when he was covering all angles.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of yours. And so now that we're friends, I just feel really special.
Well, and I feel the same about you. I remember the first time we met, and I just thought, this guy's got a camera attached to him all the time. We met at Richie's Diner, right? And he's walking up, and he's filming, and I'm thinking, oh, really? I'm having a cigarette, I'm hanging out in front of the restaurant, and then we sat down and had lunch, and it's been like this ever since.
Well, speaking of that clip, let's check it out.
All right, so one of the cool things about being in real estate is that you actually get to network with some of the top agents in the world. And I'm gonna network with someone that is so amazing that he's inspired my next Halloween costume. That's right. Troy Sage, everyone. Troy Sage, look at this.
You're a sick
Look at that. Ah, look at that funny dude. Oh my God. I want to do that for Halloween. Mark my words.
Amazing, too. That's awesome.
So yeah, there we were at Richie's, and there was the clip. How did you, little memory flashback there?
Is my face red?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
That was red as my tie.
Yeah, that's bald guy in a red tie and T. Roy with a red face. I wasn't expecting him to do that. I was expecting him to walk up and we were gonna have lunch, and
I'm recording the entire time.
it's awesome. There's no secrets around.
Never, man.
No.
Well, speaking of video marketing, that's always been my big thing is the video marketing, but you were doing it before I was, and so you literally are like the true OG. It's kind of like I'm Dr. Dre, but you're kind of like Kool Moe Dee.
Wow. That's a
You have no idea what
compliment
those references
from the
are.
music industry. I mean, that's a compliment, brother. So thank
Right?
you.
Yeah. You're the true OG video guy, and so you've done hundreds and hundreds of videos. And so let's kind of start there with the whole video marketing and things like that, because here we are in a studio with lots of cameras and things like that. But you've had a successful career and you've built it a lot on the video stuff. So what made you kind of get started with that whole video angle of things?
Truly, it was by accident, to be honest. I was shooting pictures and creating virtual tours for out-of-area buyers. And I was in a property and had my camera before the iPhone, and pressed a button, and I started cussing and swearing that it wasn't flashing. And when I got back to the office, I plugged it in, and it was me cussing and swearing. I thought, well, what an idiot. Why don't I just shoot a video instead of spending all this time building a virtual tour? And that's what I started doing. That's really how it came about. It was a total mistake.
What was that, 2007, 8?
Yeah, probably right around the beginning of 7, maybe the middle of 2007.
When the cameras started coming out and being popular and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
it was a little tiny Canon camera. I think I spent $150 on it and thought, why would I spend $150 on a little tiny camera? And then next thing you know, I'm selling homes with it. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, and that's what I would tell people back in the exit days when I was doing the video and stuff like that, is that it was literally nothing fancy. It was a little PowerShot Canon camera for $150, like you're saying. It was pink because of my wife's camera. And I just started doing these selfie video tours through these foreclosed REO homes, and it was just trash.
Oh, so
but,
funny.
But the humor would carry it, because
Yeah.
I'd just be bagging on it
That's
the entire
right.
time. But what's funny is those little videos are still floating around, and I still get calls off of them because people, come across them on the internet for whatever reason. And so that little 5 minutes of a video, $150 camera, has turned into tens of thousands of dollars of commission, if
Yeah,
not
for
hundreds
sure.
of thousands
For sure.
over the years.
Yeah.
So, but your videos have always been amazing because they're more informative. Like mine were always humorous and entertaining and stuff like that, but yours are like, here's the nuts and bolts of what you need to know as a seller or buyer. So I think you did it much better than I did.
Well, I could argue that with you because I like your personality and I like the humor behind yours. And you have a gift that I don't have. I'm not very funny unless we're off camera, right? And I say dumb
You're
stuff.
funny. What are you talking
Well,
about?
I don't feel very funny, and I would be uncomfortable in front of a camera shooting a video with humor in it. I would always be second guessing myself, so I've always been the nuts and bolts guy.
Yeah.
Let's just get down to what's the brass tacks here, and then if we want to joke around about it, we can.
Or you just let your sister do it?
Or yeah, I do let my sister because she's a goof, and I love her to death. And the more I get her in front of the camera, just the more successful she becomes. It's a beautiful thing, and that's where our personalities are different.
Is she, what's her personality profile type? Is she an DI?
There's not a whole lot of D in her.
No?
I mean, there is, but I think it's more like an I and then an S and then D But she's got 0 C in her.
Whereas you're just pure DIC.
I have done the disc at least 10 times, and I've even tried to cheat and not be such a high D, and I can't get away from it. It's DI, and everything else is below the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you the answer sheet, and you can circle the emblems, and then that way you don't have to be a D.
Okay.
I need to teach you how to cheat better.
I'm learning to embrace the D, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
because that's a leader.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like leaders, so I've
Yeah.
been through that phase.
But we need them, and the world needs them, and real estate needs them, and you're really good at it.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to be a little emotional, but you have inspired me to be me again. I've spent several years in the past 5 or 6 years being really low-key and not wanting to upset anyone. And now I'm like, you know what? I don't care if I tip the apple cart over, because I was much happier. You know, I grew up in Detroit, so we just say it the way it is.
Yeah.
And I've spent some time not saying how I feel about things, and it's curved, though.
Yeah, I say stuff.
I know you do.
It's okay if you say stuff.
Okay.
We tell the truth out loud.
Well-
You're from Detroit.
Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have one sister.
Okay, so she's in Arizona,
She's in Arizona.
running your Arizona team.
She is.
And then where's your mom and dad?
My mom's in Arizona, and my dad is back in Detroit still.
Do you go to Detroit often?
I've been there more times in the past 3 years than the past 15.
Really?
Yeah, I try to go back once or twice a year now.
That's good. Mom and dad need to see you.
Yeah, and I see my mom when I go to Phoenix. She's in the Phoenix area, so I
Yeah.
usually see her about every couple of months.
I think you should go meet up with my twin sister in Arizona next time you go.
Okay.
Have you met her twin sister?
No.
It's the weirdest thing because you see it's a spitting image, like identical twin, right? But the personality is completely different. So you try to like joke how we would joke
Yeah,
with Susan,
yeah.
and she goes,
Mm-mm.
she's not, but so it's such a mind twist to you.
Yeah?
To me, it was.
I'm an ID and she's a CSI.
Okay.
Yeah. So conservative, serious, perfectionist,
Mm-hmm.
all the skills that I don't have. They
So
were bred into
things
her.
that are funny to you, she's like, ha.
And she goes, gives you the prude face.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I will definitely go meet her. I'll be out there in November. So.
I think that she would have fun meeting you, you
Yeah.
know? And we used to do that where we switched people at houses. Like if she have someone come here, I'll let them stay at my house and then you can stay at her house. Like we really do that.
Really?
We act like we're one person.
Okay.
Because together we really are one good person.
Okay.
It's all the good qualities, yeah.
Yeah, all her good ones put it in me. I'd be a great person.
It's like a couch surf over there. I could just call and go,
No,
hey.
No, you would have your own room with the best mattress in the world.
Really?
With probably a private bath. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have
Yeah.
to talk to my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
'cause-
I'm going to have to talk to mine too.
It's the Joyous Sisters.
Yeah, I would love to meet her for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so what did you want to be when you grow up? Where'd you start? Rock
Oh,
star.
wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, all my childhood I wanted to be a rock star. Really, I wanted to be a professional musician. So, wow, you're taking me way back. So, when I was 6, I started playing drums. And at 10, I wrote my first song. And my grandfather was a drummer. He was a big band drummer in Detroit. He was a union guy. And he also worked for General Motors. And back in the day, you didn't make any money. I mean, even now, you don't make any money as a musician unless you're a big rock star. And at 10, I went to him. I said, Grandpa, I know what I want to do. And he says, what? I said, I want to be a rock star. And he gave me 3 pieces of advice. He said, number 1, don't get married. He said, number 2, don't do drugs. And number 3, never sell copyrights or publishing to anyone.
That's actually great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 out of the 3, I did pretty well. I don't do drugs, and I didn't sell my publishing. So I was full bore on that since I was 10 years old. It was playing drums and writing music and playing drums and writing music. And in high school, that's all I did. I wasn't the guy, like you and I would have waved to each other in high school, but I was the guy that no one really talked to. I was playing drums all the time. Drum line, playing drums, going home, studying. And I drove my dad crazy playing drums. It's so bad that he would say, I can't say it, but he would get really pissed. And he'd be like, knock it off, and he'd go crazy over it. And then I'd not play, and then I'd beat on my pillow and on my mattress, and he'd hear that, and that would upset him after a while. But it seemed like after time he got used to it, and he was as supportive as a dad can be. My dad worked really hard. He's a blue-collar guy, right?
Yeah.
So he came home from work, from busting his hands as a journeyman millwright. He wants to chill, and I want to rock.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to be a musician, and my second choice was to be a dentist.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I like that.
and I really
Because
didn't
you could like
accomplish
put
either.
gas on people's faces.
Yeah, pretty much. And I figured, the dentist we had as a kid was cool, and he did the nitrous thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, if I'm going to make a bunch of money and be around, quite bluntly, hot women, I either got to be a doctor or a dentist. And then
Or a rock star.
or a rock star. And the
Yeah.
rock star thing worked out pretty cool for a while, but I got married.
Well, so you broke the cardinal rule that Grandpa tried to pass it on to you.
And he did remind me of that at one point before he passed. He was in
Oh.
Michigan, and I went and saw him, and I said, I'm getting married, and he goes, okay. And I said, so? He goes, how's that music going on? I go, it's going really good, and we were doing really well. We were touring regionally. And he goes, let's see how this works out.
Famous last words, huh?
Yeah.
He was right.
But I started real estate when I was 20 to actually make money, so I had money to tour with and buy drums and pay for studio time. So
what was the name of your band?
it was called Sage. Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, it was.
Did you sing too?
I did, yeah.
You want to sing us a song you wrote?
No, I actually sang to you
Yes, you did.
on your birthday, which
Yes,
is
you did.
only a family thing. And
You can sing
I
for
broke
real.
my rule and sang for you, but no, I haven't sang in about 14 years.
He has a wonderful voice.
I bet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Like for real. I can't even imagine what it would feel like to have that come out of my mouth. I think I would sing all the time if I had your voice and your talent.
Really?
Yes, life is a musical in my mind.
You're really like getting me all excited. I want to go home in my studio and like jam tonight now.
Yeah, go jam.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I think you're kind of actually hitting on an important thing is that we are all given these gifts and talents, and it's interesting when someone has a gift and talent that you have, and we got to pay the bills and got to do these normal things and stuff like that. But I wonder if we'll get to heaven one day and we'll be like, damn, I should have really pursued that. So maybe you should start singing, man.
Maybe.
For reals.
Maybe.
I got a gig at Christmas.
Yeah.
It's called
Yeah?
our Christmas party.
I won't be here, but unfortunately,
Damn it.
I'm going to go out of town. I've done the last couple of years. I leave town either Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas, and I just go on like a little hiatus, kind of take off for a week.
Will you be here on the 20th for the party, though?
I will do my best to be here on the 20th. I believe I will be here on the 20th.
We have fun. Our Christmas party's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only song we really sing is the 12 Days of Christmas
Okay.
Silent Night.
and Silent Night.
Okay.
You could lead us in Silent Night.
Oh, please don't ask me to lead in anything. I have to lead all the time. I want to sit back and chill.
I did that last year. It may not have been pretty.
I'll sing with you guys if I'm at the party for sure. Yeah.
Oh, good. We heard it here.
Right here at Signature Studios.
That's right.
So let's jump into actually how you got into the whole real estate career because, it's 2019 right now. You've had a long career. You've been doing this for almost 30 years?
Yeah,
20,
forever.
25 years?
Yeah, forever.
Kind of thing. So you've seen a lot of the cycles here locally and stuff like that. But take us back to how you got into real estate. Sounds like you got into real estate because you wanted to provide for your band touring and stuff like that. But how did you actually make a career of it? And then not only a career, but actually become one of the dominant forces here locally?
So it's 32 years ago. Geez, how do I explain this story without dragging us out for hours? Bottom line was I had a different career. And I quit my job, and I went and saw my dad, and he said, quite bluntly, what the hell did you do? And I said, I quit. And he said, what are you going to do? Sell real estate? Being sarcastic. And I said, oh my God, your buddy has really cool houses, smoking hot wife, and remember, I'm 20, right? And drives really cool cars. Heck yeah, I'm going to get in real estate. So I went to real estate school in Detroit, and it took a month, and got out, and wasn't living at home anymore, and froze my butt off, went to Salvation Army, bought a trench coat. I was so damn cold to farm, because we didn't have computers back then, right?
Oh my gosh.
And average sales price was about $55,000 to $60,000, and I was farming the $100,000 neighborhood, because if you're going to go for it, you go all in, right?
Yeah.
So I got my start in Westland, Michigan, just outside Detroit, and I met a guy at the C21 office I worked in, and he says, why don't we team up? So he was a couple years older than me, and I said, do what? And he says, I'm going to call FSBOs and expires. I have this great program, and I believe it was Mike Ferry, but I didn't know who it was at the time, and listened to cassettes. And he was the guy that called out of the newspaper every day. We had 3x5 cards, and I was the guy that went to the house and knocked on the doors and said, hey, my business partner called, and I figured I didn't like the phone at the time. I don't like people hanging up. But they weren't going to slam the door in my face.
Yeah.
So we did, at the time, you would get that big C21 award if you sold $1 million in real estate. We did just under $1 million in 9 months.
Wow.
$1 million in sales?
In sales.
Okay.
Yeah. If it was $1 million in my pocket, I wouldn't be sitting here. We'd be hanging at Atlantis in the Bahamas.
Right.
And then things got a little bit weird in the office, and being young and crazy, I quit. And
In rockstar fashion?
Oh yeah.
You've told me a few stories, and so I want to dig into those, but go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I came to LA to record. I had 4 in escrow, and my office manager said he would take care of this for me. And when I came back, they were all falling out of escrow.
Oh.
I was only gone for, I think, like 10 days. So at 21 and crazy, I threw my chair across the office, and I was in his office and said a few choice words to him and shoved stuff off his desk, and then went over to the filing cabinet and kicked that over and said, F you, I'm out of here. And went right down to the school and got my builder's license, and went to school for my builder's license. Took me 3 weeks, and now I could sell again. So I said, screw the state of Michigan and being part of your MLS. No one reads the book anyways. People rip all the pages out. So I kept selling homes, and then I got into kitchen to bathroom remodeling and building garages, and I met people that were going to develop, and so it was always a way to make money for my band. And really, it's, when I think about it now, saying it out loud, it's really funny, the stuff I went through,
so. Yeah.
right?
That stuff you did.
Right? Yeah,
That's what I love about the show. It's the story behind the story. You know?
I was a little bit more wild than I am now. So yeah, I didn't care though, right?
Yeah. So how did you get out to California?
I'd been flying out here to record. I played drums on a bunch of different projects, and quite honestly, I had an opportunity to sign a big record deal. And I was going through a divorce in '99, and I thought, I'm just going to move to California. And so I moved out here, and in 2000, like I said, I've been coming out here about every quarter for a week or two at a time to play drums or do studio work for years. And I moved out here in 2000 and strictly focused on music, and the rest is kind of history. 2005, I got back, and I toured for several years, and in '05, we weren't going to tour anymore, so I thought, well, what I want to do, and quite bluntly, I was like tired of going to open houses and have people not ask me for my name and phone number, because I'm like, these people don't know how to sell real estate. And at the time, I literally had cash to buy a home, cash. And I had people say, you know, I had one agent who said, you know, you should go look at new construction up the road here, and he actually drew me a map. And I thought, but we want to buy this house. So I thought, you know what, great disservice here. Agents aren't actually providing service to buyers and sellers. They're just standing there and making money.
Yeah.
And that fired me up. I thought, one, I can sell real estate. I know contracts really well. And two, these people don't know what they're doing. So if I can get a foothold here and then get around people that work a real system, we can build huge teams, or at least have an office that really rocks. And that's what inspired me to get back into it here.
And was that in the Tarbell days?
It was, yeah.
Okay, so that's when Tarbell was...
Tarbell.
Tarbell.
Yeah.
I mean, Tarbell was kind of they were #1, as the Billboard said, for so many years.
For so many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, not going to touch that topic, but...
That's a different episode.
Yeah, that's a whole different episode in itself. But, so you started here locally in the Temecula Valley, so that's kind of when Temecula was really starting to take off. And so you set those roots down and kind of became the top player there. So right away, you've always been kind of system-minded and team-minded, and you've always been the leader because of your personality type and stuff like that. So that was almost 15 years ago. You've gone through a lot of changes over those 15 years. What have you kind of learned through those ups and downs? Because you've had a lot of them.
On the business side, or my team-wise, or in general?
I would say as a team leader, because teams now are very standard place, but I think you were running teams before it was cool, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
again, you being a pioneer, like you were already doing the team concept probably 10 years ago. If
Well,
not more.
my whole thing is being able to give back and share, and to train people. And if I can It's like when I watch your videos, I learn from watching your videos. There's certain things in which you do that are really cool, and I go, oh, I can incorporate that, and it's not plagiarizing or ripping you off.
Yep.
And my thing has always been, if I can teach you a contract and I can teach you how to listen, that's where agents have changed so much. Agents will read a script all day long and they don't listen to what the person's saying on the phone or what they're saying face to face. They don't make eye contact and they don't know how to, quote, close them. There is no close.
Yeah.
My team asks me all the time, what's your close? Sign here. But we don't get to sign here until we've built that relationship. So what have I seen change? In the beginning, it was very hard to build a team. People are like, well, why would I give you part of my commission? Then it became easy to build a team, especially during the short sale era. I didn't get REO accounts. I focused on trying to help homeowners avoid the evil bank. Right? And I say that with a smile because I don't feel the bank is evil, but the point is that became my niche. And it was helping people. And it was easy to have a group of people go, hey, we all want to help people, and there's the steps to make this happen. Today, the challenge is getting the younger agents to understand that it's not as simple as grabbing your phone and texting someone. You have to build that relationship.
Right.
We also have way more technology now, and sometimes information is not correct, it's not accurate. And it's trying to explain in a kind and loving way or a compassionate way with a buyer or a seller that the information they're reading is incorrect.
Yeah.
That's the challenges now. The challenge used to be bring someone on board that's willing to take less commission. What was the value proposition in having a team? Well, it's simple then. Well, I spend X amount on marketing. I handle the file. All you have to do is get on the phone and go meet people. Well, now it's just different.
Yeah. And with our brokerage here at Signature Real Estate Group, we have a lot of the powerhouse teams and stuff like that. And so you've kind of been leading the way of, just your knowledge and the ups and downs and the oops and ows of it, So you've kind of helped pave the way for that. How did you come to Signature Real Estate Group?
Really?
Don't tell them how much I paid you.
Yeah.
Wait. You're paying people? I want to get paid.
I have a non-disclosure on that. Don't have a gag order on that? Yeah. I had my own office at one point, and I was going to franchise with a different company.
Right.
And I went to that company to work for a while. And I was at a point in my life where I felt it was time for a change. And I was either going to quit real estate totally, and the joke has been with my team and with my sisters, like, you know what? There's some days I'd rather open a Dairy Queen in the middle of the desert, eat soft serve and weigh 400 pounds and not care, because there's a lot of stress in this business. And I talked to you on the phone, and then I called you and said, how real is Susan? And you said, she's the real deal. Not that I will say that the last place I worked at wasn't the real deal. I was looking for something fresh. I needed a fresh start in my life and in my career. I've always looked for, in all the offices I've worked here in California, was an office with synergy, with culture, with healthy competitiveness. I've always been fired up when someone else in the office gets a listing or someone puts a deal together. Yeah. And when the office loses that and it becomes nasty, I have to go.
Yeah.
That's how I came here. I spoke with you. There's other agents that were already here before you were here, but of course you've already had a relationship from the past. And they all said the same thing, and I thought, well, 5, 6, 8 agents can't all be lying. She's not paying them all.
Right.
Right?
I can't afford it.
Yeah, and I came to the office, and when I had my office, the layout of your office is very similar to what I was shooting for, but I had a much smaller space. And it felt warm. It was inviting. And what I told my team when we were coming, I said, this will be sink or swim for you guys. And they said, why? I said, because we're with the best in the industry. All the big hitters are here. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that there's not big hitters not in this office, because there are. But the consistent, focused, business-oriented agents are here.
Right.
And that either makes, as a team, you either step up and make it happen, or you drown in your own pity.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I'm up for that challenge. And I'm the kind of guy that if I was to ever close my business here, it's either going to be on a high note or I'm nuking my entire business. I'm going out on some kind of note.
Rockstar
Go
status.
throw
man.
a chair.
That's right.
Throw it a chair.
I'm going to throw a chair, or, I haven't thrown a chair in a long time. Maybe I'll do that when I go home. Just throw one over the balcony.
Remember how that feels?
But yeah, that's how I came. When you and I spoke on the phone,
Yep.
and
I was starstruck.
And I don't know why, because I think one of my quotes was, "I'm broken, I'm beat up, and I'm tired."
Yeah.
And we talked on the phone.
Yep.
And then we met in person. And it's hard for someone to lie when you're face to face. And that's always my thing. Like even with for sale by owners and expireds, I want to see them face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we sat face to face. I didn't want to leave. I think I was here for a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It
was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay. And not to say I didn't have that in the past in other offices.
Yeah.
This felt right.
Yeah.
And I thought for the first time in a long time, I'm going to go with my gut. And if I fail, I fail. It's okay to fail.
Yeah.
We learn from that.
Yep. Yep.
So here we are almost 10 months later. How's that been for you? Was it the right move?
I think so, yeah. I wake up in the morning, I'm excited to be here. I feel challenged every day, not only by the other agents in the office. When I see these agents that are, especially the newer agents,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Brighton just
Yeah.
did a major cool
Yeah.
deal?
What, 45,000 or something.
Man,
like
that fired me up.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching this young guy, new agent, and he's not,
Baby face too.
Yes.
Right?
He's a sweet kid.
and he's
Yeah.
working the system, working. Heck, at one time I said, dude, why don't you join my team? I'll help you. And he's like, I'm going to try this on my own. I said, that if you need help, let me know. And watching this kid, that fires me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fires me up more than me selling a bunch of homes, because it's like we can pass the torch then.
Yes.
I know in 10 years from now, when I'm not doing this like I'm doing it now,
Yeah.
I can call a guy like that and go, hey, bro, find me a home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's, I feel the same way. Not to say it hasn't been difficult. It's been very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the challenge is, I don't feel the push here, meaning I don't feel the pushback of when you do a good job and the other agents go, oh, great job, and then they walk away and they have the water cooler talk.
Yeah.
I don't feel that here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like that here. I think everybody really is happy when someone else succeeds and someone else closes and someone else thrives. And I think it really is healthy competition. And I think that's because of you guys are all healthy and that's what you built here,
Yeah.
But it's really fun to watch.
It's
Every time you walk in, it's like a little light bulb walked in. You know how I feel every time you walk in? I'm like, Josie!
I know, it's funny.
Ponytail. But that's how everybody feels when they see you.
Really?
Yes, and then when you're part of the team lead meetings, like that's a bunch of powerhouse people sitting at a table with one mind, with one vision, with one goal, and one purpose to collaborate. And you fit in perfectly.
Well,
And
you're
you
helping me a lot.
add
You have
to
no
that.
idea. Because I go through, I'm in a point in my life right now where, I'm rebuilding.
Yeah,
So there's lots of personal doubt.
yeah,
Am I doing the right thing?
yeah,
Am I adding value? I was way up here in sales,
Yeah.
and I'm down here right now. I mean, literally rebuilding. And there's some mornings I wake up and go, man, why don't you go buy that soft serve and eat a bunch of Dairy Queen? And
Yeah.
but I love the office.
yeah,
I love walking in and saying hi to people when they're here in the morning, and I love giving hugs and high fiving, and that fires me up.
yeah. It fires everybody up.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Then I'm adding a little bit of sparkle.
Thank you for sparkle. I
Yeah.
love sparkle.
Sage sparkle.
Right. Don't get my sister on that, because she'll bedazzle everything in this room, brother.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
That's
So
awesome.
2020 is right around the corner. So, as the number suggests, it's all about vision. So what's the vision for 2020?
For me personally, or business, or
Both.
I mean, we can talk about a lot of stuff, brother.
All right, let's
Well,
go.
and also you have to remember, he says he's rebuilding something, but he runs a team in Arizona and here, and he
Right.
goes there and he comes here. So just the physicalness of what you have to do in order to make that successful, you're doing twice as much as everyone else.
Yeah, and
You know?
I forget that too. So it's funny, and we've mentioned my sister several times, but
Yeah.
you've been gracious enough to let her be part of our close group on Facebook.
Oh,
and every
yeah.
time she sees closings for the month, and she's like, well, but we closed 5 in Phoenix last
Yeah.
month, and we're not. I said, because we don't have a signature in Phoenix yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What's my vision? My goal is to build my team here, get my team members now that are really green, right? Really work with them and get them to have a sustainable business. And at the same time, add another team member in Arizona. We're really busy in Arizona, and which is why I drive back and forth.
Yeah.
Or there's times, spur of the moment, I have to fly out there for a closing. And the next phase that I've talked about is I'm highly considering getting my license in Texas.
Interesting.
So I would do the tri-state kind of thing. And that has to do with the, I don't know if you want to call it the migration, people leaving California to Texas, Arizona. I also have great friends and agents I work with here that now live in Texas, and we're trying to find a way to work together. I'm not saying that's for sure going to happen, but that by the end of Q1, I'll have a decision made on if I'm going to add that. I don't know.
Tri-state.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trifecta.
I would do the whole country if I could, you know.
Troy does America.
Yeah, there you go.
Not
That sounds
going
like a
there.
movie.
The one I saw once.
Well, Troy, you've been absolutely successful. You've had your highlights, your high points, your low points, and stuff like that. But there's something about you that you're a fighter. You know, I think maybe that's that Detroit part of you. You know, you come from was it 7 Mile, 8 Mile?
Yeah, right.
Like
A little bit north of there, but yeah.
A little bit north of there.
Yeah.
You know, you're a fighter. You're used to those cold winters and those cold times and stuff like that. But one thing I can always rely on you as a friend is that you're a fighter. You enjoy the scuffle. Like I've heard you on the phone, man, and I've been in transactions with you too, where we've gone tit for tat on contracts. And what I love about them is that we can fight in the arena of the contract, and then be like, okay, are we done with the contract? Yeah. All right, so are we gonna hang out, or you want to do lunch, or what?
Yeah.
Like you can separate that, and a lot of people can't do that in this business.
It's a job.
It is a job.
It's our career.
Yeah.
And I love contracts. I love contracts.
And you're good at it.
And I love negotiating.
But you represent your buyers and sellers really well because of that.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I hope that they know the integrity of the man behind those pieces of paper and that you are truly protecting them. That is really a service that I'm proud of when people come into the office and they do that. I can't thank you enough because I feel safe. I feel protected. I feel like you're being my hands and feet and heart to the buyers and sellers. I can't thank you enough for that.
Well, thank you.
It makes my job easy.
Well, good.
You know, I love that part.
It's not a job at that point. When we like to do what we do, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And you're correct, John. You're totally correct, bro.
Yeah.
I have deals I've done with other agents, and we are toe to toe. We're F-bombing each other on the phone. There's no effing way this is going to happen. And they send it over. I just had one today, as a matter of fact. She didn't get my sense of humor. She came in $35,000 below list price. She goes, let's open escrow. I said, okay, bring it up 35 grand. We'll rock this out.
That's a good one.
Right? And now we're negotiating again. And she says, wow, you're very cold, she said. And I said, no, I'm representing, I have a fiduciary duty to my seller. So you actually came up $5 grand. Why should I even present this? I will present it, but you give me a substantiating story. Substantiate why we should drop this $30,000.
Yeah.
She goes, so we can open escrow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good for your side.
So yeah, and not that we don't make mistakes. You know, I make mistakes on my contracts also. But that's my favorite part. That is my favorite part. You know, when I first started here in California, I didn't know anyone. So I was at Tarbell, and we had a graduating class of like 40 agents. Remember those days? Like 40, 50 agents a month coming to join.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to all the new agents and said, you know what, I've been doing this a long time. I'll do all your contracts for a referral fee. I'd wake up in the morning. I had no money. I'd just be writing contracts all morning long, and I wound up top 15 in the office by the end of the year. I started in July.
Wow.
In commissions. And I thought, I never placed a sign. I've never even shown any homes, really. Did a couple open houses.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So when you love to do something like that, I love the contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As much as I love playing drums, as much as I love writing music. What I don't like, there's certain things I don't like in this industry, right? I try not to do it because it reflects. I have, so any clients that don't know me yet, I have an hour to 90 minutes of calmness. And if I'm driving you around for 2 or 3 hours, you may not want to be in my car. That's not my shtick. I don't like it, right? Not that I haven't done it, but I'd much rather have you comfortable in the car with one of my agents that loves driving around talking about this. I've given that speech for 14 years. But give me a contract all day. Let me pick this contract apart, and let's protect. I mean, I'll share this with you. I'm double ending my first deal in about 10 years.
Wow.
We're done. We are done.
Yeah.
We're 8 days into contract. We're done. We're just waiting for loan docs.
Because there's no reason not to be done by day 8. Seller's disclosure, you did it, home inspection, appraisal, we're done. Yeah.
Yeah, so my seller, who obviously I disclosed, right? We had multiple offers. They took a different offer. It fell out. My offer was next highest. Guy still wanted to buy the home. And I said, are you comfortable with this? I have a fiduciary to you, but I also have to be honest with and represent the buyer.
Yeah.
We all hung out at the home inspection on Monday.
Yeah.
And my buyer says, so first time I bought a home in a long time, what's next? You're going to sign loan docs in 12 days. And he's like, is it this easy? It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When egos get
Yeah.
pushed aside and
Yeah.
people just represent and deal with the paperwork, read the contract, file the contract, we don't have any issues. It's
Yeah.
when egos boost up there.
Yeah.
Would you agree that majority of agents, because 90% of agents probably don't necessarily know what they're doing kind of thing for the most part, they pick fights or they try to create issues so they can pound their chest and be like, look what I'm doing for my buyer, I'm protecting you kind of thing. It's like,
Yes.
no, you're just starting problems to make yourself look good, because that's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be tense.
I think it's that, and I also think it's, and I'm gonna give props to this officer. You have amazing training, right? I think it's human nature for a lot of people when they make a mistake, instead of just raising their hand, say, hey, I screwed up, let's fix this. And it's more predominant now than it was 10 years ago. That they try to point the finger at something else. It's almost a deflection.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're going to pound their chest and go blah, blah, blah. I had a deal 2 years ago in Menifee, and I represented the seller, and the buyer's agent was falling behind on the contract. I gave him notice to perform. And he called me right away. He's a younger agent, but I knew his broker. And he says, well, we're not going to do this, this, and this. I said, okay, well, the deal's going to fall apart. And he said, well, is this going to be another one where Troy Sage puts a check mark that he won this battle? And I said, no, I'm trying to keep this together for both parties. I'm telling you that you are behind on lifting contingencies. And if you don't, I've given you a notice to perform, which so many agents are afraid to issue,
It
right?
just makes me crazy. Yeah, you need to do it 2 days before it's due.
Yeah, they're freaked out.
I'm the bad guy.
He got the notice to perform, and he went crazy. And I said,
Yeah.
bro, I'm just trying to keep this together. I have a seller moving out of state.
Yeah.
So I do agree. I think part of it is that they're not. I've said this a million times. To become a hairstylist here in California, it's 1,500 actual hours before you can take your test to get your license. To be an appraiser, you go to school, and you can get your, I believe it's a temporary license, but you still have to apprentice for 1,500 hours before you can do an appraisal.
Wow.
Here we go to school and we get out and we don't know how to even read a contract. So I truly believe, and we might get calls on this, the state is doing a huge injustice to our industry by not making people do some type of apprenticeship. Like, appraisers, come on, what are they making per appraisal? We have the ability to make more money than most industries
Yeah.
with little education. Make it harder to get your license. Make it mandatory that we learn contracts. Make it, matter of fact, it's all about the money. It's the cash cow, right? So jack up our real estate license fee to $3,000 a year. Watch how many people drop out. We got a bunch of part-timers, and I'm not picking on the part-timers or the old-timers that do 1 or 2 a year. You guys haven't read the updated contracts we update twice a year.
Yep.
And then I'm having an argument with you because you're giving me a contract that was updated in 2016.
Yep.
So I think that's a lot of it. Some of it's ego, and some of it is that people won't just be human and raise their hand. It's okay to say we made a mistake.
Yep. We're on the same side.
Yeah,
Trying to get someone to move out and someone to move in.
that's right.
Yeah.
Our job is get in between buyers and sellers and make
Yes.
sure everything stays together.
Yeah.
And you said something, I've heard you say it before, it's like, don't dislike the people, dislike the process, or something to that effect. How do you say it?
I don't know. I make stuff up all the time.
Oh, but it worked.
But usually I say the pieces of paper win, so make sure that you've done the pieces of paper and use them correctly in
Yeah.
the contract. Because those pieces of paper win. And they protect both sides.
Yeah.
And us.
And equally, clients don't understand the paperwork.
Yeah.
It's our job to explain it in detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working with my team right now on contracts, and I said, okay, so what we're doing tomorrow, as a matter of fact, is everyone on the team is bringing me a listing packet, and I'm going to be the seller, and you're going to show me what's in all the paperwork. No one does that. Come on, right?
I wonder if they listened in the class, because they'll get it right if they did.
Hopefully they did. But there's a way to paraphrase everything
Yeah. Yes, there is.
without deceiving anyone.
Yeah.
I'm a huge advocate for education. I truly think, and I don't want to come across as being negative about California, but they will take our money to get licensed, and then, oh my gosh, if something goes wrong, it's going to take them 9 months to even figure out what the heck's going on. They're going to come after agents for no apparent reason. And then they go, oh, by the way, as long as you're in court spending money, and it's crap is what it is. Train these agents. This is a career. This is a business. This isn't, going out and fixing, tires on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the biggest financial decision people make, buying and selling real estate.
So I have 3 questions.
Sure.
What's your favorite color?
It's purple.
I like purple. Sage and Associates is all purple, just in
It
case
is
you don't
purple.
know.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's very pretty. What's your favorite food?
Well, I don't know if chocolate is considered a food.
Yeah, I
but
think it's absolutely
yeah,
necessity.
chocolate. Yeah,
Chocolate, okay.
Yeah.
And who's your favorite football team? And should we talk about it?
Well, we can. Growing up in Detroit, I've always been a Lions fan, but since they've sucked my entire life, my second choice as a kid has always been the Steelers. So I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Yeah.
How the Lions been doing this season?
They're doing about what they normally do. They get you all fired up, and then a minute left in the game, they kind of hack. But my sport's really hockey.
Oh.
So I've watched my first. I went to a Steelers game last year after Christmas. What a treat! It was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And I actually started watching football this year. So on Sundays, I try to decompress and I hang out at home and I have my computer and I work a little bit, but I watch some football. But my thing's hockey. Like if I have a dear friend here in town that gets me tickets usually once a year or every other year when the Red Wings come to play the Ducks. And I don't care where the seats are, I'm going. And I'm the guy in the jersey and the hat. And the only thing I don't have is the foam finger.
Have you been behind, like, the plexiglass when the blood hits it?
I haven't been when the blood hits it, but I have sat second row behind the glass. And oh my God.
Yeah.
Does it change the dynamic of it?
Oh, yeah.
my
Knows
gosh.
You're in it. And
Yeah.
and my nephew.
They really fight.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
isn't.
It's blood, man.
Yeah,
It's
this isn't
serious.
wrestling.
No, it's serious
Like
stuff.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
It's like
I
a
can
fight
see
was
why.
a fight was happening and a hockey game broke out.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody shot a puck. My nephew, very proud of him. He is a phenomenal hockey player. And I will. Well, I've already told you, and I may have told you, but I am a great uncle. So I am.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm in love with little Reese.
And he's so cute.
She is amazing. Yeah. She is amazing. So, yeah, hockey's my gig though. Yeah, I could watch hockey I could not sleep for 2 days just watching hockey.
Wow.
So
Fair enough.
My surgeon who did my surgery, he is the doctor, the orthopedic guy for some hockey teams. And he says it's the best business to be in with them because they're like, oh no, this doesn't hurt.
Right.
I'm back on the ice. No, they're the fastest healers that there are because they take that serious.
Yeah.
And they're just the toughest people he's ever met.
I bet.
And
Yeah.
they don't take time off.
Yeah, that's
When you-
even when they're hurt.
That's right. And
Yeah.
when the season's over, and because I'm crazy about hockey, most of these guys are playing all year round. It's not like other sports where they go, oh, let's see, we got 3 months off to do nothing, and they go on trips. Not to say they don't have personal time, but I have followed hockey since I was a kid, and that would have been my dream as a kid. If there was anything I could do professionally, was be a professional hockey player.
Can you skate?
I used to be able to skate, yeah.
Really?
I can still skate now, but
Oh, I can't
don't put
do
a stick in my hand, I'll probably break a hip.
This stick is a crutch.
I went a couple years ago down in San Diego. They have that rink or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah, and skated around. It was cool.
Yep.
But we used to skate on a lake. We didn't do the indoor thing. We skated on a lake, and
Oh, that's fun. Did you eat icicles?
sure, we ate icicles.
My gosh. I was born in Illinois, and so I loved the icicles.
Yeah.
I loved the snow. I loved drudging through it in 3rd grade to try to get to school. Tornadoes. It was awesome.
Walk 2 miles to school, and
Yeah.
no shoes, and walk back. Yeah,
Uphill?
yeah, both
Uphill,
ways.
Dragging your 8
Yeah.
brothers and sisters.
Yeah, we used to play. My grandparents lived on a lake. We used to play in the wintertime, and I had an uncle that was a little bit older than I am, and he'd take me out and play hockey all the time. We would stay out until our hands hurt, and then we'd come in, and my grandmother would make chicken soup, and we'd eat chicken soup and get warm and go right back out.
That sounds
Can
like a
you
great
cook?
memory.
I can cook.
What's your favorite thing to cook
my-
besides chocolate?
No, my favorite meal and what I've done for years since I was when I first got into real estate is I cook Thanksgiving dinner.
Ooh, what do you have on your menu?
Your typical traditional stuff: the stuffed turkey, the sweet potatoes, the string bean casserole, rolls, salad, of course pumpkin pie.
Do you make the pumpkin pie?
I haven't in a while.
Okay,
no.
so what's in your stuffing?
Well, I can't tell you that.
Oh, you have to kill me because you're from
because
Detroit?
it's a secret.
Do you put sausage in it?
I do not.
Oh.
No, it's very traditional.
Okay.
But I have a couple secrets that I use to keep the bird moist.
Oh.
Because isn't that a drag? It's Thanksgiving and you cut in,
Yeah, and it's
that
dry.
white meat just falls off like powder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We share all of our real estate secrets, but we're not talking about that turkey.
We are not talking about that turkey.
I'm not giving
Everybody has
the
boundaries.
sage secrets away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask either. I'll respect that.
Okay.
As long as you keep sharing all your real estate secrets and making people rich.
Well, I'll do whatever I can to help anyone.
And
so.
changing the industry for the better.
Okay, let's
I'm
do
really glad you're here.
it. I am too.
Really, 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 really glad. You're my favorite people to walk in. And Kim Steele, too.
Yeah.
You guys walk in, they're the contract king and queen in the
It's
office.
funny that they have similar like fighter personalities.
Yeah.
Kim and Troy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just tough. Like
Well,
I wouldn't
and
want to
they-
be on the other side of it.
Well, and they know that if they know the terms of the contract, that they win the fight.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
And that's like they are ready for battle. Oh no, I know what 4DF double I
Yeah.
means.
Yeah.
I know what paragraph
Yes.
14B1 is.
Yes, I know. I know. When I
The
was
lamest
done.
excuse to cancel, right?
Right.
So,
right.
and I want to, can I say something about
Yes.
Kim?
Yeah.
So, when I first came to your office and I walked past Kim Steele's offices, because she's a monster,
Yes.
love her for that, I thought, oh man, I'm really nervous. Like, I really felt like I was going in the Red Wings locker room. I was going to meet Stevie Yzerman face to face.
Aw.
And I walked over to the door my second day here, and Chris and Kim were there, and I said hi. And they are the coolest freaking people.
They really are.
I was intimidated because I just know how well they've done
Yeah.
and how business oriented they are and how she knows contracts. And that fired me up. And now, like, it took me about a month, to be honest, to get comfortable going, hey, are we cool? Man, we hang out in the parking lot and talk all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just another person that kind of has that hard shell on the outside. And you go, like, she hasn't been feeling well. I'm like, can I get you something?
Yeah.
Like, what a great person. So my perception was it was going to be hell in that hallway. That her and I were not going to, we were going to be like, you know, don't want to see you. And she's amazing.
Yeah.
Her and her husband are both amazing and great people.
Yeah, they are.
So you can't judge a book by its cover, right? You just can't.
So true.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of sums up this whole studio. The purpose of the studio is to see these big names,
Yeah.
because you hear the Troy Sage, you hear Kim Steele, you hear Bob Cadez, James Shelby, Christian Stone, all the people that we've had on this show and
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And there is this persona that people don't always understand. It's like the iceberg effect, right? You see
Yeah.
the tip of the iceberg and you're like, oh my gosh, Troy Sage. And then you get down below the surface there and you realize that they're just incredible human beings,
Right.
and that they care, that they're not jerks, they're not stuck up or whatever. And you know, I'm proud and glad to call you a friend.
Thank
And I'm just so happy that you're here at Signature Real Estate, man.
I think we're on a path and life leads us to where it needs to go. We've made left turns and right turns, and I'm just trying to stay in the middle of the road right now.
I like that.
So I'm super grateful. I'm grateful for you as well. And, you know, bro, I mean, I can't say enough about you. This will turn into a love fest if I continue to talk, because you know how much I care
It's
about
a
you.
bromance.
Bromance.
Yeah, little brotato chip, my
But
sister
it
calls
is
it.
fun to watch.
Thanks, Professor. Well, final thoughts?
You have final thoughts?
I do.
Okay.
I just want to formally thank you for absolutely everything that you are, spiritually, emotionally, physically, professionally, because the class that you bring and the education and the grace that you spread and the light that abounds from your very face changes the whole office.
Thank
I
you.
can't thank you enough. We wouldn't be the same flavor of ice cream without you. And I
Well.
love ice cream, chocolate ice cream.
It means a lot. Thank you.
You are my chocolate ice cream with a ponytail.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for trusting me
Sure.
and coming on board and opening up and being vulnerable. It means a lot. I think it changes the whole industry. So I'm glad you're here.
Me too. Thank you.
Really glad you're here.
God, this is crazy.
T. Roy Sage, Troy Sage, my buddy, my pal, my hero in many ways. Thank you so much for the many years, the transactions, the encouragement. the chastening sometimes. Hey, John, pull your head out your ass. Thanks, Troy. Thanks. Thanks, buddy. Like you shoot it to me straight, so I appreciate
No,
that.
you do the same to me, man.
Yeah.
I
We need
appreciate that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a dynamic office with dynamic people. If you're looking to find a new place to call home in the real estate world, make sure you check out Signature Real Estate Group, because we have people like Troy Sage and Susan Ebert and the bald guy in the red tie and so many other rock stars. So that's it for this episode of Signature Studios Spotlight Series. See you in escrow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.